Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. Happy Thursday, happy FPL deadline day. I'm Gianni Battici. I'm joined by regular co-host Mr. Dean Jones. Dean, how are you, mate?
I'm okay, mate. Yeah. I had a bit of a panic up then, didn't I? It's like I haven't got a charger, I haven't got a microphone. Where is all my stuff? How am I going to do this show? And I've literally been sprinting room to room. So yeah, I don't have my usual mic. Hope it sounds all right. I imagine it's okay on these headphones.
It sounds all right.
Yeah,
sounds all right.
Yeah, so very unprepared for this show. Apologies for that. Also, you're not really ready. Mate, Fulham are in a semi-final. We don't get to semi-finals.
Wow. Shame it's not at Wembley. I guess it's two legs. It's 2 legs, isn't it, Carabao Cup?
2 legs, mate. I don't know if that helps us get past Liverpool or kills us.
Away I think next season it might be 1 leg as well.
It is, yeah. It's the last ever 2-legger. So
you did well at Anfield a couple of weeks ago, mate. You didn't go on that one, that Sunday trip, but it was a cracker, wasn't it?
Mate, we lost that one 4-3. The game before that, we lost 1-0. The game before that, we won 1-0 at Anfield. It's not the worst record that we've got. Oh, and at least the second game is at home. So even if we just can keep it down to 1-goal deficit, at least to go to that game with some hope would be nice, you know.
So you'd go to that if it was a good first leg. If it was a bad first leg, you might not go.
I'm going to go anyway. Let's face it. But yeah, I'll be going anyway. Yeah, so I'll be going. But yeah, Fulham winning a penalty shootout is also very rare. I thought we might get you boys, obviously, but
I don't like that. No journey time.
Looks like it's a West London final.
I'd take that. I'd take that. Oh, mate, if it's West London final, you and I got to get tickets and go together. Although we wouldn't be able to sit in the same end, so that'd be a tough one.
We'll have a fight outside first, and then we'll just go into our own.
It's mental, actually, that we've never met in person. I was thinking that the other day.
Oh my God, we actually haven't.
That is crazy.
I assumed we had, but we haven't.
Count how many hours we've spent together.
That is insane. We're basically like the new version of pen pals.
yeah, we're pen pal / MSN buddies.
I speak to you more than I speak to my actual mates.
Yeah, me too, mate. I think you might actually be my best mate. I've never met you in person.
Wow, what revelations we've got in this morning. Me and G, have never met in real life. You met Jack, haven't you, and Sam?
Yeah. I've met Sam twice and Jack once, I think. So yeah,
you met my colleagues and you never met me. Wow, what are we going to do?
It will happen one day, mate. It will be meant to be.
At some point. How are you feeling about this game week, mate?
Good, I think. I've so for those that aren't fully aware, I'm sure you all are. It's obviously a blank game week, so no Man City, no Brentford. We thought we might go into this game week with Haaland and Burmo and maybe one other Man City player or Brentford player. So we were always thinking this would be the game week where you go, can I get 11 men out? Because I might have a dead spot on my bench and da-da-da-da. But actually, it feels like everyone now that's sold Haaland doesn't have Burmo. They sold him 2 weeks ago and probably doesn't have another Man City player. So actually, we've all got playing subs this week. It's not a blank game week to worry about, which is quite nice. I do have Foden, who I'm willing to bench, but it has definitely impacted my transfer this week. I always bang on about the 8th attacking spot, whether it's your 5th midfielder or your 3rd forward, how I like it to be a 4.3 or a 4.4 dead spot, because I don't like the benching headaches every week. But for the first time this season, I actually need a good 8th attacker because I need them to play this week because I'm benching Foden. And actually, knowing there's the AFCON coming up, there's the Asia Cup, I might not sell both Son and Salah. Knowing we're getting tons of injuries now, for the first time this season, I'm now ready to have a good 8th attacker. So I don't mind that benching dilemma if and when it comes. But for the next few weeks, it won't come because I've got Foden's blank and then I'll have potentially an injury and then it'll be AFCON Asia Cup. So it's fine. Also, I've got headaches around players like Darwin. Like I wanted a Darwin rest last night. He not only played, he played 90, but he had his best performance in a Liverpool shirt for a while. And he played on the left wing. Did you see that? Yeah. He played on the left. Even when Luis Diaz came on, he stayed on the left. And Klopp was really complimentary about him on the left. He said his work rate was great off the ball. He said he really good game, unlucky not to score. We've heard that before. And I think we could go into the Arsenal game with Darwin actually leapfrogging Luis Diaz, who hasn't been brilliant for Liverpool of late, despite all his family being in town for Christmas. We could see Darwin left hack post central. I think we actually will, which I'm quite excited about. I'm keeping Darwin for another week. What a sucker.
Oh, mate. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. I've got a bit of a dilemma because I have got Luis Diaz and I thought he'd be good for this period and he hasn't been. So that
should have been.
Should have been, and it hasn't paid off. I thought that Liverpool in midweek having Curtis Jones particularly starting was a very good call, and I'd be surprised if he loses his place in the team. They've got things to think about too, obviously, with Cody Gakpo and Harvey Elliott. They're both putting forward cases to be playing this game. I think Darwin starts on the left. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Cody through the middle is what we will be seeing in this game. And so that's going to be a big consideration. I mean, it's still going to be a tough game, obviously. And Liverpool got this incredible record at the moment of shots on goal. I think it's 64 shots over 2 games.
Jeez. I know they put up 30 last night. And again, yeah, it was over 30, around 30 against United, wasn't it?
It's something like 60 odd shots over 2 games that they've had.
That's a good attack.
It's like double what you would normally have.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because obviously, like the Man United game resulted in no goals, and last night resulted in 5 goals.
Yeah.
So what is this? I mean, we know we saw in the Fulham game, Liverpool love a long ranger, and they have a lot of players that are capable of doing that. But I don't think Klopp minds it too much. A lot of managers don't really like their players shooting from long range because they feel like it's a waste of possession, basically.
They were doing it a lot against United, weren't they? They were getting frustrated by like 70 minutes. I remember when Gakpo came on, it was shots from distance a lot, and it didn't work for him. But then again, last night it did work. Like Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, they hit a ball clean, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly, mate. So, yeah, I think Cody Gakpo is the one to have actually for this game. I've just got a feeling. Did you see when he handed the Man of the Match award over to Curtis Jones last night? He gave this speech. Yeah, they were like, "Could you do the honors of handing it to him?" And like Cody Gakpo like takes the award. He goes, "Mate, you're doing brilliantly." And he gave this speech like, "Your work behind the scenes that nobody sees is really impressive. You've got to keep going." It was really strange, but it was really cool. It was like, I don't know if he just didn't get it, or if he's just like a really kind Dutchman. Yeah, but it was like, oh, cool. He's like done this fatherly speech, and then like had this cuddle, and Curtis Jones like, "Thanks, bro, thanks." But yeah, I mean, I certainly think Curtis Jones has put himself in the window to start that game. FPL fella says I should have avoided this stream if I knew you were going to be talking about last night. Sorry, mate.
I watched the 11-minute press conference from Klopp last night this morning because I didn't watch the game. So I was like, when I don't watch a game and it's important for FPL, and last night was an important game for Darwin owners, Tsimikas, Salah owners. So because I didn't watch it, I was like, okay, I can only get so much out of the 2-3 minute highlights, which suggested things like when Luis Diaz came on, Darwin stayed left, which was really interesting. But I can't say that with clarity because I didn't watch the game in full. You have to listen to the press conference post-match. And he said about Curtis Jones, Klopp, he said, against certain oppositions, he will get those gaps and those chances between the lines. And he's added to his game this acceleration with the ball. And he's being encouraged to dribble, take players on. And he's clearly got that acceleration with the ball. And very few players can do that from midfield. And I went to a game, Leicester-Liverpool last season. I don't know if you guys remember it. It was where Trent scored a free kick top corner and Leicester pretty much were relegated off the back of it. But Curtis Jones, I think, got a hat-trick or maybe a brace in that game. And it was when Trent was playing midfield. It was 3-4 games for the end of the season. And Curtis Jones looked exactly the same last night as he did against Leicester. And in some games against some opponents, this is what Klopp was saying, things open up for him. And West Ham and Leicester were both a bit naive to those midfield runs. I don't know if that will always be the case because knowing managers will see Curtis Jones has that in his locker, they might have to be a little bit more cautious with certain DMs tracking. But it was interesting. And like, I thought last season against Leicester, I was like, could he be a really good FPL asset? He's got the skills to be, and he's always cheap. You just need minutes, don't you?
Yeah, you absolutely do. Obviously, a few little concerns that people will be looking into in their teams for the weekend. I'm just trying to see if there's anything on Anthony Gordon.
Who, Eddie Howe didn't bloody say anything again, did he?
Didn't say anything, and he's flagged. And I'm like, well, what is actually going on here? Anthony took a nasty looking knock, but we haven't really heard anything apart from that quote of talking about it being a knock and that he's being assessed.
No training ground picks either. We might get them today, but
yeah, and that is a bit of a headache for me because like I've got Luis Diaz, who I'm happy to ditch in my midfield, but I've only got one transfer, and I've got Gordon. And my bench actually doesn't look good because I've got Alvarez and Maguire on my bench already. So I've got like one transfer, but like potentially 4 players that aren't going to be playing this weekend. So I'm a bit stumped.
Oh, I look forward to seeing your team later there. And it's going to be Flag Central.
Yeah.
Hello to everyone in the chat. Do hit that like button and subscribe. F Monster. Don't see you around here much. Ashley Woods in the house. 24K Will, JR, Matty R. All those new faces. Fancy hitting that subscribe button. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Newcastle team news is always fascinating because Eddie Howe doesn't say much. But then also I look at that Newcastle team and the same players that you think are going to be injured do keep appearing. Like we thought Lascelles and Cher both had knocks, yet they've been starting games. I know Cher then went off. Not surprised. Anthony Gordon keeps going off injured, but keeps starting games. Callum Wilson has been out for a long time and now just started 3 games in 7 days. I think he may have even got 90 in all 3 of them. AC Milan, the Premier League, and Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. And it's like, Callum Wilson never gets 3 sets of 90, but he's flogging them. Eddie Howe is flogging them, and they're picking up muscular injuries because of it. Look, we've seen like Cher go down recently. We've seen Joe Linton's out, as well as all their other injuries. Anthony Gordon, if he does play at the weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him start, I bet he goes off injured. I bet he does.
God. Bit of a disaster for them. I mean, look, where are we at with Newcastle right now in terms of trusting them to actually win something, but also like keep up this momentum that they've had? Kieran Trippier obviously going through it at the moment. Losing in the Carabao Cup, I think, is a huge blow. You know, this is a team that needs a trophy. It's a club that needs a trophy. And, you know, Newcastle fans, they do give it the big one a bit, mate.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
They never won anything.
I know.
You know?
Our entitled.
And like I saw, there's like mocking Chelsea for like their celebrations. Like, well, the Chelsea fans are just relieved that they got something to celebrate finally. Like, even if it's just a penalty shootout in a quarter final, at least it's a step forward from where they've been for the past year. Like, you've got to enjoy football at some point. And Newcastle have ultimately flopped in the Champions League. I know it's harsh, but they did.
And they were naive for the Europa.
Yep, didn't make it into even the Europa. They're now got a big fight on their hands to stay in that top 4 conversation in the second half of the season. They're out the Carabao Cup. They won't win the FA Cup because everyone else takes it too seriously, and Newcastle aren't good enough.
Carabao was their best chance.
So they're not going to win anything this season.
Again.
So it'll be interesting to see this open up, to see what Newcastle end up doing at the end of the season, see if they stick with the pattern that they've been going with of slowly building, or whether they're like, let's just sign Mbappe, whatever. Hope Mbappe does come in.
That'd be mad. I'd love to see Mbappe at Newcastle, but yeah,
14
it'll be
mil,
interesting.
15 mil.
I watch players like Bruno, and clearly Bruno could walk in any 11 in the league. I'd go so far as to say, even Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, definitely Liverpool, their midfield. But I look at Bruno at Newcastle, and I'm like, yes, Newcastle produce really good XG numbers overall, but when you take the big games, when you take the Champions League games, the Carabao Cup against Chelsea, certain league performances against big teams, they're part of the bus, jobbies, and they don't have the ball, and they very rarely create, and they may have scraped some draws, and we saw at PSG and in Milan they got a point, and we saw against Chelsea they nearly qualified, they nearly went through, and they had one shot, one goal. But God, they're boring. They're bad with the ball. A player like Bruno wants to be playing for a team on the ball. They'll struggle to keep him if they keep playing like that in big games.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, mate. You should. We've got some money coming in. You should answer this one.
Mark.
Go on, give him all the advice you can.
Mate, if they're paying money, they want your opinion as well as mine.
I don't know about this one, mate. I think this is probably better in your head.
Mark's activated his free hit. That is, but I guess, Mark, you pre-plan this, which is a good way of navigating a free hit. You pre-plan the blank and you go, I'm going to buy players like Man City and have some upside and then free hit them out. Any tips, Wilson or Solanke? I'm not sure Wilson starts. I think Isak could start. And actually, as a general transfer question with Wilson and Solanke, I'd swerve them both because, Wilson and Isak, they're going to rotate for minutes. And Isak is rumoured to be back in the squad. So I'd go Solanke all day long. Bailey's an interesting one. See if you get any Aston Villa quotes from Emery today. There is an Emery press conference. The best place to source quotes, if you're not on FPL Twitter, check out Fantasy Football Scout on their homepage, free to access. They'll give a full press conference roundup from any of the ones today. There'll be a few. The super chats are flying in. Thanks, Mark. Good luck. I'm going to give you one or two other names on a free hit, Mark, seeing as you've paid so generously at $5.99. Like weekend punts, if you fancy going there. Aston Villa defense. The safest route there is Konza. But obviously, if you want to gamble Moreno, big upside. Matty Cash could also start. Pau Torres swerve. He's flagged. We don't know if he'll start. But Aston Villa, you definitely want to be doubling or tripling up for that. Spurs Everton, with Everton playing in the week, maybe a bit tired, not used to playing too many fixtures. I'd consider a Son, Richarlison, Porro triple up. So yeah, there are a couple. Squeeze in Richarlison, I think, if you can. And then maybe even Fulham Burnley. You might want to punt on a Fulham home player because last two home appearances for Fulham, Dean, 5-0 wins. So who do you punt for? Who's going to play up front? Is it going to be Muniz or Vinicius?
Oh, I mean, I didn't expect Muniz to start the other day, so that was a bit of a surprise. He doesn't get too many outings, but
you should go for a midfielder.
Right. He did all right, to be fair. I'd steer clear of both of them, to be honest, because neither of them score many goals. And I would look around. I've talked about Iwobi a fair few times now.
Yeah.
He'll be a loss to us in Jan when he goes to AFCON. But yeah, I'd say from an eye test point of view, if I'm telling you who are the most dangerous players for Fulham, Iwobi is involved in everything and he will play in that Burnley game. So I would definitely be backing him. Pereira, I would steer clear of. He just hasn't had the sort of season you might have expected from him. Robinson, I think he's my least favourite Fulham player, but he is quite a good FPL asset. And Bernd Leno, mate. Bernd Leno is the Fulham player to have. He is the best goalkeeper in this game when you look at value and what you get for it. So, yeah, I'd say if I was to rank them in typical Ranks FC fashion, I'd say Leno, Robinson, Iwobi.
Nice. Guys in the chat, you've been helping out with that question as well. A few good suggestions. I see Aston Villa Bozzies come straight in with a Villa player, Douglas Luiz, who last night on Twitch apparently insinuated that maybe Pau Torres was injured. I love that team news is now coming from Douglas Luiz's Twitch.
Wow.
But then he got asked on will Matty Cash start? And he was like, oh, no, I can't say the 11. The manager doesn't tell us. And someone commented being like, welcome to the FPL community. There we go. Rick's actually bringing Leno in like that. Fulham will do. Bernie says British at 87. Best Fulham defender, Dean. Yeah, Dean mentioned there. Robinson. Thank you guys for all your questions. We have actually had another super chat. Hey guys, what's more of a priority from AM in Qatar? Solanke or Porro? These were my last two transfers before this week. I would say this week the entry point for Solanke is needed because by next week you might look at Solanke's fixtures and not buy him. So if you want Solanke long term, you prioritize Solanke this week because it's Forest away, then Fulham at home. But after that, it's Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham, right?
Yeah.
If, however, you're not 100% sure that you need Solanke long term, well, Porro's a great entry point any week because there's upside. And Everton at home is a really nice fixture. Then it's Brighton away, Bournemouth at home. So if you're only going to go one, but want them both long term, go Solanke. If you don't necessarily think you need Solanke long term, then Porro is the better long term FPL asset out of both players.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good call. I mean, Porro definitely somebody that I'm considering getting in this week. I mean, there's a chance I do take a -4 this week just to make up for the fact that I've got like 4 players who probably aren't playing. So I think if I could replace Maguire with Porro and then I don't know which forward I want, which Liverpool player I would want if I do get rid of Luis Diaz, then I'm obviously looking at dropping that price. I've got to be careful because I've got this Haaland money in the bank and it looks great, and I really don't want to spend it. But there will be a temptation to, I don't know, no, I don't want to go Szoboszlai. I don't want to go there. I mean, I'd already talked about Gakpo. Maybe I should be looking to get Gakpo actually as my other Liverpool player. Was he 7.2 forward? So actually, what I could do, I might get Julian Alvarez out actually and get Cody Gakpo into my team.
Yeah, that's someone is definitely blanking. And with KDB back soon, Alvarez will be vulnerable.
Yeah,
long term.
So I think I'll probably be looking to do that. But yeah, Porro definitely high on my hit list. That's a really good fixture for Tottenham. Everton, they're not a bad team, but Tottenham should pull them apart, I think, at the weekend. Everton will be reeling, I think, a little bit from what happened in midweek. I'm not going to lie, they expected to beat us. Like, there's no way, especially when that went to penalties. Little old Fulham. Like, we don't. It's funny, like, you actually do feel a bit mugged off as a Fulham fan when you get to those moments because you know that the other team just expects to beat you because you're Fulham.
But you've got a better goalkeeper. I always think with penalty, well, I mean, Pickford is actually quite good at pens, but I always think with shootouts, I go, before I even look at the toss, who's going first, or the end of the stadium, or even the 5 takers, I go, look at the 2 keepers, better keeper, more likely to win the shootout. That's like my, and then I go, who are the penalty takers? Then I go, who's taking it first? Because that's always an advantage. About 65%, I think, of shootouts are won by the team that go first. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then the end. So like Chelsea lost the toss for the end, and it was like, why are there Newcastle fans behind the Chelsea goal anyway? Like, that is a dreadful place to put away fans. So many teams do. So yeah, I mean, Leno's better than Pickford, I'd say.
Leno's better than Pickford. I would agree. I mean, look, Pickford probably should have done better in that shootout.
He always goes the right way, but he's not tall enough.
He always goes the right way, but his arms are too short.
That's just it. Give Pickford another couple of inches, and England probably win the Euros.
Honestly,
it's not his fault, but he's just not tall
really
enough.
Good. He just needs a longer arm. Go gadget arms. That's all Pickford needs. Thankfully, he didn't have them. British says awful Onana pen. It was awful. I was so grateful for it. So grateful for it. I really felt for my little boy. Like, he stayed up to watch it. It's his second penalty shootout he's ever watched. The first one was the World Cup final a year ago. And so this was his first Fulham penalty shootout.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and mate, it was so funny watching him go through it. He was like, Dad, I feel a bit scared and I've got this strange feeling in my tummy. I don't know what it is. I was like, oh, mate. I was like, yeah, you're a bit nervous. I was like, don't worry.
Sudden death.
I was like, it's like, what do we do? I was like, we have to just believe every time that they come that they can score. Like, but we're not expected to win, but we can win this. Like, it's literally 50-50.
Tried to manage his expectations.
Yeah, I really tried to manage him through this penalty shootout. It kind of helped me, to be honest. But it was amazing, like, because I was like, okay, like, if Onana scores, then we're out. And I was just getting ready for him to cry, basically. He saved it, and he like jumps on my back. He's like screaming. It was amazing. But yeah, thanks for that message, Onana. You just reignited that in my memory.
I've not actually seen that penalty. I didn't watch any of it because I was watching the other game. I was watching Chelsea, but I need to relive it. And the fact it went to sudden death is always fun. A penalty shootout with sudden death is a horrible experience, even when you win, but you don't enjoy the 7 pens because it's just that horrid heart rate, sweats.
Yeah, mate, Colm's message here about how did Leno get a yellow and Pickford escape with nothing. Pickford's antics are unbelievable. How does he get... he's doing all these... He's standing around. He's doing, like, stretches. He's basically like Gaza, but a goalkeeper. He's doing these weird faces in front of people.
Yeah.
He's, like, jumping around. He's acting like the class clown. Yeah. He didn't get anything. Leno did one thing, got a yellow card. And you're just like... People just think that this is Pickford's personality, so he gets away with it.
No,
Pickford is a bit of a nutter, I think. But
I mean, I nearly tweeted, but I have to be careful because England fans have me. And I did tweet something like, "Oh, Pickford's lost another shootout," and then a gif of Italy lifting the trophy. So
did you actually do that?
Yeah, I did. And I can't. I lose followers every time I do it, and I'm happy to do it, but I didn't want to go too hard. I wanted to tweet something like, "Pickford's a good goalkeeper. He'd be a great goalkeeper if he was a couple of inches taller, and he'd be an excellent goalkeeper if he had the right mindset." But I think Pickford's antics work not only against him, but against the back line in front of him. I often think during games, he makes either bad decisions. I just think his decision-making in general is not great. Going for crosses he can't get or whatever. Yeah. But I just think his energy behind the back four is not a calming influence. And I think that Joe Hart sometimes suffered with that energy. I think the best keepers are those that are a bit cooler.
Yeah. No, I see exactly what you're saying there. Pickford was gurning. Yeah, well, it was a bit like that. Salah lives for big games. Would you captain him this week?
Good chat,
Jody. Thanks, Jody. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because this is about impact now when it comes to Salah. It's not, you're not seeing Salah run games. You're not seeing him play the way that he was in his prime.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a fixture like this, you do have that feeling that he might be able to come up trumps. I have to admit, I'm feeling that less than ever going into this
Yeah.
one against Arsenal. Like, I don't personally think I would be captaining Salah this weekend. I don't have that level of trust in him at the
What's
moment.
your prediction for the game?
I think Arsenal will win.
Midweek off Arsenal as well.
I think they will win. They're such a good team. It is a real good test of understanding where Arsenal are at, actually, because if they do win this game, then they are proper contenders to actually go and try to win a title.
Yeah.
If they don't win this game, and I include a draw in that, then it's still all up in the air, and I still don't think we know where this is at. Did you see Jose Mourinho the other day when he was asked about the title?
51-49 on Golavy Mikel Pod.
Wouldn't even contemplate that Arsenal could
It's
be
class.
in this conversation.
I'm with you though. I think I agree. I would go so far as to say, as if they win that game, with the league table as it stands, you could argue, and many bookmakers might actually suggest it, that Arsenal might be favourites for the league, just because you don't see too many points dropped, or not usually by the team that goes on to win it. But obviously City come into their own in the new year, and I still think I'll back City. But if Arsenal win the game, they might be classified as favourites. If they lose the game, straight away it'll be, City, Liverpool, just as much chance, if not more, than winning. But that's why I won't captain Salah this game, because I think Salah, off the back of a rest, looked sharp when he came on. Liverpool, we've spoken about their XG numbers in the last 2 games. Amazing. Shots galore. Salah should be a good pick, and is a good pick. But the fact that we can predict the Aston Villa result and the Spurs result with what we think with accuracy, we can go safely. Aston Villa will win and score a few. Spurs should win and will score a few. We don't even know if Liverpool score. Like, if Arsenal win that game 1-0, are we surprised? I don't think so.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. I really don't know what to do with my team. Liverpool v Arsenal will be 0-0. If that happens, FPL Down Under, is a very, very high chance that Aston Villa are top of the Premier League for Christmas, which is an unbelievable story. I mean, look, there's loads of good stories around at the moment. You've got Villa potentially top of the Premier League, Girona going to be top of La Liga. You've got Bayer Leverkusen top of the Bundesliga.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Bologna are doing well in Italy as well.
Bologna are doing well in Italy. Nice are doing well in France. Like, the big teams are not having it their own way this season, and it's quite nice to see.
Often teams not playing in Europe. I know Villa are, but when you look at Girona, I don't think Girona are in Europe, but they're not in the conference round, are they? But Bologna aren't either. And it's like, they get in the midweeks off. And this is just off the back of European fixtures where all these teams have been having a ton of fixtures. It's an interesting one to consider.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting comment from JR. Villa's fixtures for the next 10 are too nice for Arsenal to be favourites after this week, regardless. 10 games. Let me see Villa's fixtures over 10 games.
Arsenal have also got incredible fixtures after this week, just to throw it out there. Like, I mean, sure, Villa have got some nice games, but so have Arsenal. I mean, Gabby Jesus, we've not spoken about, I think is becoming a good FPL asset.
Yeah, he is becoming a good asset. Villa have got a good run of games, to be fair. That's a nice fixture list. I was just looking at it, thinking, well, they have got Man United twice in there, but I'm like, why do I always think Man United's a difficult fixture?
Yeah, we need to change that in the difficulty rating in our head and probably on the app.
That's the problem. It comes up in red, and you're like, this isn't a red fixture. It's not, is it? They have to be brave enough next season to change this. Man United are not a red fixture.
Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of fixtures, Dean, we should probably give a little bit of a landscape over the next 10 days. So let me just give you guys a couple of headlines on that, both game week deadlines and periods between games, but also when we're doing Chasing Green Arrow streams and stuff. So this will help with your transfer plans. And guys, do hit that like button and subscribe to Chasing Green Arrows while you're at it. So click 3 buttons for me: like, subscribe, and notification bell if you're not already on that. But we're in a weird phase because it's literally Premier League football every day over the festive period. So starting with a Thursday deadline, this game week doesn't end till the Sunday. It will end at like 3 p.m. on Sunday. And then straight away, we've got 24 hours before the next deadline, pretty much on the 26th on Boxing Day. So I think Dean will probably end up doing a stream on that Sunday, reacting to the game week just gone. And it will be like, you've got Christmas Day and then Boxing Day, another game week straight away. And then we'll probably do a deadline stream that morning on Boxing Day. And then again, you go all the way through to the 28th of December, where it ends at 10 p.m. And then on the 30th of December, there's another game week deadline at 11 a.m. game week 20. So again, only one day between game week ending and game week fixture. Again, we'll be streaming, I think, that Friday before the Saturday the 30th deadline, Dean and I, in our normal slot. But the fixtures really are coming thick and fast. And then you get to like the 2nd of December and it's like, oh, see you in 2 weeks. So
true.
like if you enjoy the fast turnaround, make the most of it. Know you're going to have 2-3 free transfers in the next 10 days. That's fun. But also know there's going to be a bit of a lull in January. So you don't want to go into that on big red arrows. So this is a really important time of year.
Yeah, no, it's very true, mate. Before we move on, do you want to talk me through your background? There's a little man sitting on a pool table next to. Is this the book that you? What was it you spoke? This is the magnet thing you spoke about the other day.
Yeah. So the man is separate. The man is Andrea Pirlo, action figure. Like,
why is he wearing an island kit?
Yeah, like Italy have only had a green shirt once. It was not that color green. So yeah, I've got Pirlo. It was a Secret Santa.
Okay.
It was actually a couple of years ago. So he's also wedged, like the size of his forearms. I'm like, I know he's meant to be an action figure, but Pirlo was never known to
like
be
He-Man.
quite so muscular. So Pirlo's there. But also, I mentioned the other day, didn't I? I was like, Stickits, which you can search for on Amazon. You can order like these tactic boards, and you can write the player's name on. And this is my team selection, which we're going to see on screen for game week 19.
That is pretty 18. Cool, to be fair.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's a bit like Craig's book, like just having fun with your team selection and the magnetic. And I've gone like in classic FPL style. Sure, I've got 3 defenders, but I'm not going to put Porro as a defender. He plays in midfield. I'm not going to put. What else have I done? I'm not going to put Salah as a midfielder. He's up front. So, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's a nice little. There you go. That's a good little Christmas present. It is actually a good Christmas present. I like that. There you go, people. Sorry, I've been meaning to ask you that since the moment the show started. Sorry, I've ruined your display now.
No, mate, it's fine. I'm going to put the name in the search. If anyone fancies searching Amazon or Twitter, it's Skits. Skits. I struggle with that. Skits. Stickits. That's it. Stickit. Why can't I say it?
Like you're reading a foreign language. Yeah,
so
very good.
We've got to do our teams and we've got to do the Chaser team. And I expect there's going to be some decisions to be made, especially with the Chaser team. We also want to answer your questions. Popeye forearms. Guys, let's play a quick game before we're going to show you a 10-second sting. In that sting, fancy writing where in the world you're watching from, and we'll show them on screen as well. Where in the world are you tuning in from today? Let's have a look. And coming up next, we've got our teams.
That's my lot. Well, we had a good week last time out, so that's good. So yeah, I've got Alvarez not playing, Maguire injured, Gordon flagged, Luis Diaz unlikely to play, Tsimikas, I don't like him for this particular fixture, Baldock just rotting away on my bench. There's a lot here to deal with for this game week, and I don't have the capabilities to do much because I've got 1 free transfer.
I think you're all right on a few of them though. Like Gordon's probably going to start and get flawed. Tsimikas you've got to swallow. Diaz will come off the bench, but yeah, it might not start. So maybe it's Diaz or Maguire or Alvarez. But first, I'm seeing some good countries, Dean. In the chat, are there any places we've never seen on our screens before? Like, I don't think we've seen many watching in Melbourne, for example. FPL Down Under tunes in all the time. I knew he was in Australia, but I didn't know it was Melbourne. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Calgary in Canada from Ryan. Rui in Lisbon.
Perth in there. Istanbul. That our first Istanbul? Maybe. Greetings from Istanbul. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. India. East London. St. Helier. I don't even think I know where that is exactly.
Is St. Helier like the island? Is it the capital of one of like Guernsey or Jersey?
It's South London, but I don't know. All the time around London, that doesn't really ring a bell. Brooklyn, New York. That's John. Early morning. It is early morning. It must be about 5:30 in the morning, mate. Thanks for jumping on. I presume there's nobody here from like California or anything at the moment. Bangalore, India, Indonesia, Jakarta, exotic Essex. Mate, we got people. It's crazy, isn't it? Really. It's ridiculous when you consider where everybody is right now, just sat chatting FPL.
I love this game. Jodie in sunny Cape Town. Yeah, St Helier near Morden. I used to live near Morden in South Wimbledon. I didn't know there was a St Helier. And Dean, that's not far from you. Like,
Mate, is that Morden's about 20 minutes away.
yeah.
And I still ain't heard of this place. Maybe I need to drive there today.
Stockholm,
Pint,
Colombo.
let me know. We'll have a quick pint later on in St Helier.
Naveed's in Sri Lanka. I don't think we've had a Sri Lanka before. Colombo. There we go. Where's Mehdi the pilot? He's sleeping. Yeah, and still the sponsor of the stream. 2 stops from South Wimbledon, St Helier. St Helier. Yeah, 2 stops from South Wimbledon. What, on the tram? I guess.
Are you like an invisible town, mate? Because I don't know. I've missed this.
It's not on the tube, 2 stops, because it goes South Wimbledon, Morden, and then the Northern Line ends. So, but South Wimbledon's also not on the tram line. Wimbledon is on the tram line.
On the rail, he said. I'll have to look this up. It's going to give me something to do later. I've got a very busy day. I shouldn't really be doing that. But,
guys, thank you for indulging us in the chat. Likes and subscribes are very, very welcome. It says we've got 1 like on my screen. That can't be right. And that's me, by the way. 48, that's better. If we could get to 100, that'd be wicked. Can we get there? Come on. All right, let's have a look at your team then, Dean. What do you think? So I think it's Luis Diaz, Alvarez, or Maguire with your free transfer, which you only actually need 1 to get an 11 out. And worst case scenario, Baldock comes in. So the Man City double game week could be announced today, could be announced tomorrow. There's 3 places the double game week between Man City and Brentford could go, according to Ben Crellin, who's like the fixtures expert.
Yeah.
He says it's less likely to go later in the season. I'm just trying to find the tweet. He said something like it's less likely to go later in the season, game week 27 or something. I read this earlier, so I'm trying to remember. I can't find his tweet, but he said it was more likely to drop into something like 21 or 24, 25. 21 or 25, I think he said. So with that in mind, if Man City were to double in 21 or 25, having Alvarez could be quite cool, but by then De Bruyne is back anyway. So it's like, do you sell Alvarez? Maybe that's the easier sell. Luis Diaz, if he doesn't start today, will probably start against Burnley.
Yeah, true. Who do you replace Alvarez with, though?
I mean, midfield buys are easier because there's players like Richarlison I really want as a midfielder. But Alvarez is tough because you've got the 2 forwards everyone wants.
Got the 2 forwards, and I'd be going like Gakpo, and I've just said I'm not even sure Liverpool's.
What about Gabby Jesus?
Gabby Jesus isn't a bad shout, yeah, but then again, he's still played in the biggest, toughest fixture of the weekend.
Not a good entry point, but from after today, the fixtures are amazing for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I need to look at it beyond just this game week. And Bozzy says, Maguire to Porro or Trent, Dean. Trent got 2 assists in the 30 minutes that he was on the pitch. Yeah, he did. The problem is then I'll be eating into this Haaland money, and I really want to be careful about this. I need to not live my FPL life how I live my actual life and just spend all my money. So I need to try and keep some of the bank.
What's the deal with Maguire? Like, how long's he out? Because again, United have got a good run of fixtures after the next couple, but is Maguire is it unknown? Is it?
I don't know. Let me have a quick look at what the latest injury update was.
I do think Porro is a massive upgrade on any of your defenders, but I think selling Maguire might make sense.
Yeah, Maguire's been a really good player for me.
He has. You got like 3 clean sheets on the bounce from him, didn't you?
Yeah, it just said the coming games could mean a return in the new year for Maguire after the clashes with West Ham, Villa, and Forest. So potentially he'll be back in 4 game weeks, but definitely misses those 3 by the sound of it. So don't really want him just staying there for the sake of it.
Porro, mate, and it's not much of your Haaland.
No, I can go to Porro. Yeah, I think that's probably the most sensible place to go. Yeah, I think I can be persuaded quite easily to do that one.
And you can bench Luis Diaz if
that's fine. Yeah.
I like that. Is Isak playing? Says Dan. We don't know. I think he'll be in the squad, but Wilson needs a rest. He's played 3 games in 7 days. I'd be surprised to see Wilson playing 90. But look, the problem with Isak and Wilson is when they're both fit and available, which hopefully is the case soon, they're going to share minutes. And it's always going to be one or the other. You're never going to fully know. And when one starts, the other one will get 30 and one will get 60. So I just think swerve the Newcastle attackers. And it does mean it's slim pickings. Outside of Watkins and Solanke, I'm going on the fantasy show today. And one of the talking points is forwards. I'm going to be tipping, I think, on the show and talking about Gabby Jesus. I was looking at his numbers this morning. They're good. He's had 2 goals in 3 games. He's only 5% owned. He's 8 million, which is for an Arsenal attacker with good fixtures could be nice.
Mhm.
So Watkins, Solanke, Shaw, my standout options. If Jimenez was not suspended, maybe you could look there with his recent form. But I think Gabby Jesus is a nice option. Outside of that, there's players like Cunha, Calvert-Lewin. Nah, don't think I want either of them.
No.
So I'd swerve Newcastle.
Yeah, tricky. James says, "Morning, chaps. I snuck into the top 25k this week. Well done, mate. That is a big, big achievement." Just to also tag up on my team, Salah will not be my captain. Captain will be Ollie Watkins. Watkins is 49% owned at the moment. And what do you reckon what captaincy will be? What's your vibe on?
Yeah, I think the vast majority will be captaining Watkins. Like I think probably 70-80% of managers that own Watkins will captain, maybe even more. I did a poll the other day on my channel. I said something like, will you own Watkins in game week 18? And 95% said they will own Watkins will be in their team.
Wow.
So if they don't own him, they're buying him.
Yeah.
And he's just a stand. I think a few will captain Son and a few will captain Salah, but yeah. It's going to be, it's just the opponent. Sheffield United have conceded more goals this season away from home than any other team. And it's not like under Wilder, they've been tight at the back. Like against Chelsea, they were rubbish second. Chelsea could have scored Chelsea aren't a good team and smashed them second half. Like the amount of chances Chelsea had.
Yeah. And it's also worth remembering Villa have won their last 15 Premier League home games. It's their longest.
Mental.
And I think
is that Premier League, Dean? 15 Premier League homes?
15 Premier League
even
home
more
games.
Impressive. Wow.
It's their longest run in their history. And only 3 sides have ever won more consecutively at home. Also, in terms of Ollie Watkins, he's on 49 Premier League goals. He's one away from hitting 50. And the other 2 were
Chelsea?
Gabby Agbonlahor. Two Villa players that have hit 50. Gabby Agbonlahor.
Gabby's their record, isn't he? He's got the record, Gabby.
And Dwight York.
Dwight York. I wouldn't have guessed that. I was thinking Juan Pablo Angel, but I think he only just had the one good season.
Yeah. But yeah, so even more reason, I think, to be on that Ollie Watkins train this week.
Yeah, I like that. Good stuff. So money in the bank to go Porowin and Captain Watkins. I like that, Dean. I think you're well set. Cool. Similar looking teams, actually. I think we've got that same back 4 in place with Dubravka, Lascelles, Gabriel, Tsimikas. Lascelles is an interesting one. Like he's not first choice when everyone's fit. We know that. But I think for the time being, Lascelles is okay because Cher's injured and he's played so well and he's often the captain. I think he is club captain. You might see a world in which he gets minutes anyway when Cher and Botman are fit. And I don't quite know how because Cher and Botman are a good partnership, a great partnership. But Lascelles will probably end up being a sell for us in a few weeks. But for now, Luton and Forest will get a clean sheet out of those 2 fixtures, I'm sure. Guys, this is my team now on screen. I've got Porro, Tsimikas, Lascelles. I've actually got Gabriel on the bench. And some will want to start Tsimikas. Some would want to start a Gabriel. But if you purely go off clean sheet odds, because Liverpool are the home team, they've got slightly better odds. And I would also argue there's upside with Tsimikas over Gabriel.
Yeah, I don't even think it's just that with Arsenal. Arsenal haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 15 Premier League matches against Liverpool. And they've let in 43 goals during that period. So, like, traditionally, Arsenal really do not have a good record in this fixture of keeping clean. So I think that the bookies would have looked at that as well. And I think that's a good reason to perhaps expect a Liverpool goal this weekend. And equally, he talked about Gabby Jesus. I've got a stat on him, which is a good one. He has been involved against Liverpool in 9 goals. He's got 6 goals and 3 assists against Liverpool. Apart from playing against Watford, this is the team that Gabby Jesus does best against. Watford, he's like got 12 goals against or something stupid. But this is the game that Gabby Jesus lives for. Really good record.
Crazy that. You would not have expected that. People are laughing at me. This is hilarious. So confident, Mike, who says Tsimikas won't start. Yes, he will, Mike. There's a chance Gomez plays left back. Tough game. But Tsimikas, why did he get subbed last night? He weren't injured. He got subbed like many that needed their minutes managed that are key men for Klopp. I'm surprised Tsimikas is getting so many sellers. Like Tsimikas played 70 last night, 68 minutes, I think it was. He'll start. Tsimikas is a good pick. Like I mean, sure, there's a good chance he concedes, but a good FPL pick at the minute. When Robertson's back mid-January, he'll be a sell. Of course he will. And Darwin, yeah, like I think if I needed to, I probably would have sold Darwin this week, but I need that 11 and I needed that 8th attacker. So I bought Watkins in from Obama. It means I've spent a lot of my Haaland money, but I'm okay with that. In game week 20, when I buy Haaland back, it will be Salah that makes way. So I'm going to have money because Salah, of course, is off to the AFCON in 21. Yeah. And Darwin had his best game in a Liverpool shirt for a long time last night. He played on the left wing. I think there's a good chance we see Gakpo 9, Salah on the right, Darwin on the left against Arsenal. And if he plays on the left and plays well, then he'll keep his spot for Burnley.
Yep, absolutely will. Yep.
So Darwin stays. And yeah, so I'm set. I've not had a settled team like this going into a game week deadline in a long time. Like I usually make my transfers on the day. I made this 2 days ago. Like I bought in Watkins Tuesday night.
Nice.
And I've captaincy's not even a discussion for me this week, as we've mentioned.
Yeah, no, I think you look very comfortable there, mate.
You think I've got the benching right? You wouldn't play Gabriel instead of Lascelles or Simicast, would you?
I think that the Gabriel Simicast decision is a tough one, but the more I've thought about it during the stream and given Arsenal's record, and Arsenal, I can't remember, one of the Arsenal fans in the chat a minute ago just said too that Arsenal don't have a good record at Liverpool. I'm starting to think that maybe Simicast is the way to go just because of what he could offer going forward. And Gabriel, if he doesn't keep a clean sheet,
yeah,
what's the point really? Like, obviously he could score a header or something, but like I think there's a lower chance of him having goal involvement probably than Simicast. So I think that's the right way to go. Yeah, I think it's fine, mate.
Jiminy, good question. We can definitely do that, Jiminy. Nice suggestion. Can we poll how many are taking a hit this week? We'll put that up in the chat now. Sorry, Jiminy. It's a good suggestion. We can definitely do that. Love your ideas for polls, guys. We want to always have a poll running as much as we can on these deadline streams. So we'll get that one in. Let's have a look at the Chaser team. I need to know info for Chaser team. I'm guessing it's going to show us on screen with money in the bank and free transfers. So let's see where we are with the Chaser team. I'm guessing it's 2 frees. Did we roll last week? Oh, 1 free. Maybe we didn't roll. Did we not roll last week? We must have bought in Solanke.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. Who did we ditch? Haaland.
Haaland for Solanke, I guess. Yeah. 8.4 million. Yeah, that sounds like a Haaland to Solanke.
Spend it all.
So, okay, let's just look at our 11. In goal this week, we might need to make a goalkeeper transfer. Areola and Sanchez. I mean, Areola is back, but he let in 5 last night, 1 through his legs. Does Fabianski start? Maybe. It's a risky one if we go.
I think he could. I think Fabianski could start. I do.
Oh, God.
I think that they've got a bit of a dilemma on their hands there because Areola will not want to be losing his spot. But Fabianski, Moyes really liked him.
Clean sheet as well, didn't he, last week?
Yeah.
That's probably the only pressing transfer we need to make. Like the rest of the team looks all right. We don't have Watkins, though. You could go Alvarez to Watkins.
Not having Watkins is obviously not great because he's going to be most people's captain this week. So playing against Sheffield United, you would expect him to score. And so you're going to get caught out there. And where are you going to make it up? That's probably the risk you've got. There was a point a second ago, Zubin was like, hang on back of what everything Dean's just said about Liverpool and Arsenal, surely it actually does make some sense for
high scoring game. It's going to be 3-3 and Salah gets
a hat-trick. Oh yeah, I've just said that Arsenal don't keep clean sheets at Anfield, and we've got Mo Salah sitting here without the captain's armband on. So yeah, you're right, absolutely right, and I'm contradicting myself by kind of eradicating him from the conversation on that. Maybe the way you make up for not potentially having Watkins is to go Salah captain.
Yeah,
it's the only way really you could even attempt to make up for it in case Watkins does score.
Yeah. Okay, well, we better do some polls. By the way, loads of you are taking hits this game week. 38% are likely to take a hit. I'm loving the chat. John Cahill says, nice entry point for Emi Martinez. And it strikes me, since I've been streaming with Big Man Backer on a Wednesday on this channel, I've started using the term entry point. Big Man Backer uses the term entry point all the time. Big Man Backer,
wonder where that had come from.
Loves an entry point, honestly. And I listened to the FPL Wire the other week, and that's his old podcast, right? Big Man used to do the FPL Wire every week. They use entry point all the time. So Big Man Backer is chief entry pointer. And with that in mind, we've even got the chat saying it. John Cahill now says, nice entry point for Emi Martinez. Dean, every time I say entry point, we need a klaxon or something. Stop me saying it. It's annoying me.
Right, yeah, that's not really our vocab, is it? It's not
It's not.
really it's not really your everyday language. That is definitely something you've picked up. It's like you've gone off to America on holiday and come back with a colloquialism. It works though. I get it.
Yeah. It makes complete sense. And in FPL, the first game of that player does matter and does influence us. When knowing you're buying a player for 5 or 10 game weeks, the first game we probably overhyped too much.
Yeah.
It's why, for example, people won't want to buy Trent this week because it's like he's got Arsenal. No, Trent's still a good buy any week. Okay, let's do some polls. We need to either make we'll do a poll. Shall we make a goalkeeper transfer, an Alvarez to Watkins transfer, or both? Shall we do a goalkeeper transfer, a Alvarez transfer, or both?
That's a good see what the people say. Yeah, let's get that.
36% are taking hits, which means, Dean, your overall rank, if you're not taking a hit, you start the game week on +4 on a ton of teams. So you'll get a good rank rise before a ball's been kicked.
I like that, mate. I like that, the way that you're looking at the world.
Yeah. Oh, loads are saying both. Goalkeeper transfer, Alvarez. I'm gonna suggest we risk the goalkeeper and just go one move. But I think the poll's gonna all say both, which is fair. And maybe Emi Martinez because of that entry point. Oh God! I said to Big Man yesterday on air, I was like, because he kept saying it, I was like, "Oh, Big Man, you love an entry point," and I obviously started creasing, and he didn't go there, and I was like, "Has he got it? Has he got it?"
Didn't even twig with him. Right, dangerous. This is going to go into your everyday life.
I know, Big Man and his entry points.
You're gonna have some good Christmas conversations in your house.
It looks like the chat are going to go both. All right, then let's get polling. 53% have said both. Let's nail that. So let's give some options. I think, do we sell Sanchez or Areola? I think we probably. Oh God, I don't even know. I guess we've got to poll that very quickly. Do we sell Sanchez or Areola?
Yeah, how long is Sanchez out for? Do we know?
It could be a week or two. It could be mid-Jan.
Isn't Petrovic doing well?
Mate, I think Petrovic is better. I mean, I've only seen him twice, but the penalty save was unreal. He comes with the reputation.
I don't think he's getting his spot back, so I think you get rid of him anyway.
More money in Sanchez too.
Yeah, he's the early leader, and I'd imagine.
Let's do that then.
Yeah, I imagine Sanchez is the place to go there because you don't really want him back at any point.
Okay, give me some keepers to buy. I'm thinking Dubravka,
Leno,
go on then, and Martinez because of the end. Yeah, so let's do those three. They're your three options. Sanchez is extra budget. Good point, fella.
Colm, Leno is definitely a good front door this game. Very good, very good.
Come on, guys, let's get voting. Oh no, it's not up yet. Don't get voting yet, but you're going to be voting on Leno, Martinez, or Dubravka. And we're going to give you 30 seconds, guys. This has to be quick fire. So we're going to give you 30 seconds and then we're going to vote for our forward. Then we've got to vote captaincy. Benching we might do for you this week. I think already we can say the attacking spots will end up benching Garnacho.
Yes.
I think we have to play Darwin just because the ceiling is there. And then the defenders will bench Branthwaite and Gabriel. Okay, guys, here we go. Vote for your goalkeeper. Dean's going to vote Leno. I'm going to vote.
You said that as I pressed it.
I'm going to vote Emi Martinez.
Oh,
it's a close one.
Oh,
what are we going to do? Cap it at 50?
I like it.
First 50?
Raced out the blocks with 33 votes. Yeah, 40 votes. Oh, we might need to go beyond 50, mate, at this rate because it's so tight. Torn. Totally torn.
I don't even know where it's at. I think it's 40. And Martinez is going to edge it.
Martinez has suddenly edged it. Leno was edging it. Yeah, Martinez is running away with it.
All right, we'll go Emi Martinez.
Yeah, that was a good race.
We'll do another race, guys. We'll do another race. So we're buying Martinez. We're taking a 4-point hit. Who do we sell Alvarez for? Do we sell him for Watkins? Or, I mean, Gabby Jesus? Do you want to throw another name in, Dean? Is there anyone else? Just those two.
Yeah, I think those two is enough.
And Kunku. We could go early on. He's not gonna start. He's gonna get 30 minutes, but we could go and Nkunku early. He might start game week 19.
He's got a good pen, doesn't
Yeah, it's got a great pen.
Yeah.
Nkunku versus Watkins versus Gabby Jesus.
he?
We're
Yeah,
not selling Darwin. We're selling Alvarez. Oh, do we need to poll that?
No, surely
No,
not.
we don't.
Alvarez isn't playing.
Yeah, and he's going to lose his place to KDB soon anyway.
Yeah, we're making that decision. I'm going to vote for something different because I don't want Watkins, but he's going to
Oh,
win.
damn. Okay, Watkins. Yeah. Watkins has won it. All right, Watkins. Captaincy, Watkins versus Salah. Get voting.
Oh, let's see where this one goes. It'll be interesting.
Come on, guys. Go something different.
Yeah.
It's a rubbish team anyway. It's a write-off anyway.
You have to. This team needs something to happen, doesn't it? Go like, yeah, should have gone Trips captain. He needs a good storyline to unfold for himself.
I need to go in a minute. I've got a 2-hour drive with traffic on the M25.
Oh, yeah, you haven't you, mate?
Get
you can't overrun. I forgot you had that. I mean, let's see. We can make a quick call.
Boring lot.
Watkins is captain. He's signed and he's captain.
Guys, you got to remember, you're not voting for your team here. You're voting for your extra team.
That's the problem with this, isn't it? You just can't get away from those instincts.
There we go. That's our team. We are going to bench Garnacho first sub. We're going to bench Branthwaite second sub. Wait, Branthwaite doesn't. Yeah, Branthwaite doesn't have Chelsea. Who's Branthwaite playing?
Tottenham, isn't he?
It's got Tottenham, is he? Yeah, we bench Branthwaite second, Gabriel third. There we go, guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Likes and subscribes are welcome. As you leave, can we get to 100 likes? You're all clicking the voting button, so you can click the like button, can't you? There we go.
Yeah. Are we back before Christmas?
Oh, good one. I don't think we are. We're going to do did we say we're going to do a Sunday? Yeah. We were going to try and do Sunday, the 24th, aren't we? Christmas Eve.
We are. Yeah. A Christmas Eve show.
That'll be the afternoon. After Chelsea. Is it Chelsea versus Wolves that day?
Oh, mate, honestly, I can't keep up with the schedule. I need to get like a printout on my bedroom wall because I can't do it.
I know. I got my spreadsheet out yesterday for it, and I was like, it was hard. It took me about half an hour.
My missus is going to be like, what is going on? Yeah, Wolves v Chelsea, 1 o'clock on Sunday. On Christmas Eve. So good luck to any Chelsea fans that might be going out to Wolves on Christmas Eve. That seems
yeah. And there'll be probably rail strikes as well. There we go, guys. We'll see you on Christmas Eve. Then it will be after that game. So any time between 3 and 6 p.m. likely, depending on Dean's social calendar. I don't have a social calendar, Dean. So let me know what slot you can do.
I do, mate.
But for now, guys, we'll see you next time. He's been Dean, I've been Janny. You lot have been the best lot of chasers we've ever known. Thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.